Weeks after Boris Johnson's second attempt to call a snap general election late last night was blocked by MPs. Parliament was prorogued, to use the official term, just before 2 o'clock this morning amid chaotic scenes. Opposition MPs held protests, accusing the Prime Minister of silencing democracy. Mr Johnson has chaired a meeting of the Cabinet today to discuss his options. Our political editor, Laura Kuensberg, reports.
The call made, as it always has been, black suits and lace worn in the usual way.
Desire the presence of this honourable House.
But then there's been nothing, genuinely nothing, ever quite like this. Opposition MPs fury that the Prime Minister's closed Parliament early. Whoa! Shouting no, brandishing placards, even scuffling to try to keep the Speaker in his chair. A symbol of their desire to keep Parliament open in these vital weeks.
This is not, however, a normal prorogation. It is not typical. It is not standard, and it represents an act of executive fiat. And therefore, an act of executive fiat.
Shame on you, opposition MPs shout at Conservatives. The Commons is not so much divided. It's broken into jagged bits. Then after those moments of pandemonium at nearly 1:30 in the morning, song broke out on the green benches. We'll keep the red flag flying here. The socialist anthem, the red flag. Scots were hey, then not to be outdone, a Welsh chorus. Just what were MPs protesting in Parliament trying to prove?
This was the shutdown of our democracy.
Parliament descended into chaos. Don't you worry about the impression that gives to the public?
But with the greatest respect, Parliament did not descend into chaos. There was a very rowdy debate that went on beforehand, very passionate views being expressed on all sides. We have a government here that is treating our democracy with contempt.
I did almost nothing except Latin and Greek for about 20 years. And now I'm running the country.
Well, not exactly. Boris Johnson might be in charge in theory and spent the day talking about his plans for schools. But even if he's trying to pretend it is happening, the Commons did not give him the election he wants.
Who can give us some information about William, Duke of Normandy? Oh, yeah.
Well, he conquered England.
Yes, but what was his? Why did he think that how did he have a claim to the throne of England? Why did he think he should be going? Do you want someone to help you?
He's lost control of Parliament, and he cannot brush that off.
And anybody who says it's all this stuff about it being anti-democratic, I mean, Donne Moi and break. What a load of nonsense. We were very, very clear that if people wanted a democratic moment, if they wanted an election, we offered it to the Labour opposition, and mysteriously they decided not to go for it.
Parliament almost felt in shock this morning about what happened in the early hours. The idea that both sides could have respect for the other, almost stripped away. The doors are closed now, though, MPs away for weeks with an uncertain return. The Prime Minister determined to stick to his Brexit deadline of Halloween, whatever convention he has to flout. But opponents raged against him who will push the boundaries right back. That squeezes the Prime Minister's options, leaving more risky controversy or pull off a miracle and find a deal. From the DUP, the Tories' Northern Irish allies, to cabinet ministers, there is a whiff of hope about the prospects of a deal with the EU. Yet for the Prime Minister's advisor, Dominic Cummings, who revels in controversy, and number 10, it's Boris Johnson's Brexit, and soon, or it might be bust.
Will Britain leave the EU on time?
Sure.
Laura Kuensberg, BBC News, Westminster.
So what happens now following last night's suspension of Parliament? Well, over the next few weeks, MPs and activists will be attending the party conferences. MPs will return for the Queen's speech on October the 14th, when the government lays out its key plans. An EU summit will be held on the 17th of October. And 2 weeks later, on October 31st, the UK is due to leave the EU.